Before we continue with the video, I just want to introduce today's sponsors. HikySkin is all about hair removal, painless hair removal might I add, and they were kind enough to send me this device. They actually sent this to me maybe like 6 weeks ago. They were so patient and so kind with me. They allowed me to try it for as long as I would like. And honestly, I wasn't even consistent with it, but I did see results. For me, my hair is quite stubborn, especially on my body. I wasn't expecting it to do very much for me, if I'm being honest, but it ended up proving me very wrong. It looks like this. I'm not sure exactly what the model is. I will leave the link in the description down below if you guys want to check it out if you are interested. It does work best on melanin from what I know, so that's probably why it worked pretty well for me. It comes with a lot of things. It comes with a cleaning base, comes with an adapter so you can plug it in. You just plug it in, you literally just use it, and it takes me maybe like 20 to 30 minutes for my whole body. But when you think about it, the sessions get shorter and shorter every time, as well as like you don't need to do it as often. Razors and glasses to protect your eyes because the light is quite bright, and obviously the device itself. And then in addition, they also gave me a pamphlet so I can further understand the use, like how to use it. So we got a quick start guide and then also the model itself. So if you guys are interested, they did give me a little discount for you guys to use in the affiliate link down below, which is 25% off the product. And let's get back into the video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. If you are returning today, we're gonna be doing our makeup because I got so many questions from you guys about the how to know your worth and learn to trust yourself video, like the makeup for that video. So I was like, I might as well just do my makeup with you guys because I do the exact same look. It is different than the first makeup tutorial that I did, just to let you guys know. So that's why I'm redoing it. And by the way, I already started a little bit just because I sat down to do my makeup. And then I was like, why am I doing my makeup? Because I have to film a makeup tutorial. But then I thought I was filming like a regular video, and I'm going out later tonight. So I'm going to show you guys. This is more of my nighttime look. Anyways, that's what we're doing today, and as always, I'm going to list all of the products that I used down below, and then we're also going to talk about life. So let's get into the video. Right now I just have concealer on, and then as always, my favorite holy grail, my Summer Fridays, is on my lips. Where's my hair clips? I am in my robe because I don't know what I'm going to be wearing later today for the night, so I'm just gonna see how I feel and then throw something on that I feel like makes sense to me. You know, one of the questions that I always get the most from you guys is about detachment and like learning to live in a way where you're not solely just consumed by what's happening around you and like who's around you. For me, detachment has everything to do with coming back to myself and making sure that I remind myself that anything outside of me is obviously beyond my control and there's nothing that I can possibly do about it. I think understanding this is sometimes very painful, but it's also very necessary. As I've gotten older, I think like my patience and my tolerance, I would say, my patience for people crossing my boundaries or like just, I guess, not really meeting my needs and just not showing up the way that I would want a friend or a family member to show up. Like my patience, just for anybody in general, has gotten so small. As I've gotten into my 20s, I've also felt like I've adopted more of an abundant mentality as well, big time. Like I no longer think in terms of like I would never receive anything like this again, or I would never receive an opportunity like this again, because I'm like, life is so long. People say it's short, but to be honest, like it's also long at the same time. Like there's so many things that can happen in your life. Tomorrow things could change. I didn't know that I was going to start a YouTube channel like 6 months ago, but here we are. So yeah, I think detachment comes with age, if anything. And I definitely think there's a lot of things you can do to accelerate your understanding of what it means to really be detached. But in my opinion, it's something that as you grow older, it just comes to you naturally with age. There's a lot of things I don't tolerate anymore that I feel like I used to. And now I just think it's insane to me that I would even like put myself in that position again. Having to go through certain things in order to understand where I stand in my life and the relationship with myself as well. And here is my point about learning to self-govern being the most important thing that you can ever learn. That's the best skill you can learn in your 20s, in my opinion, because nobody's coming to save you. And it's a hard and very harsh thing to hear, but that's the reality. Is like, I found that in my life, when I was willing to take accountability for things, I just received blessings on blessings. You just learn to be so much more magnetic as well, because you're no longer putting things on other people, you're no longer making things about them, and you also know how to cope with your own emotions. I'm very good at coping with my emotions, if I'm being completely honest. I think I credit that to taking so much time to understand where they stem from, and also what it can do for me moving forward. Like, I can use it in a positive way. And the one that I've been facing the most as of recently, and I'll be transparent with you guys, is anger, which is something that I never knew that I would have to face again in a weird way. It seemed like a battle that I had already won, but obviously I was wrong. God had other plans for me. So I think looking at my anger and seeing it and saying, okay, but like, what is this teaching me? And I always see myself as separate from the emotion, because I never want to identify with it. I just always like step outside of myself, and I'm like, okay, this is anger. Clearly it's bothering me. Something's up, something's bothering me. Why does my makeup look crazy right now? I think it's just the lighting. Like, it looks completely different when I film, and then I don't know how the lighting turns out until after I edit. But anyways, yeah, so learning to self-govern, because I think learning to be in control, and by govern I mean like, you know, when you make a decision, you trust that decision that you just made because you know it's the best thing for you. And you don't have to necessarily go to very many people for advice, because you know that your advice is the one that's going to lead to a better life for you. A lot of people say that, oh, like, being a child was so much fun, I wish I could just be a kid again, because when we were kids we were very present, right? But for me, I actually have the opposite experience. I don't know how long I've been blending for. Being an adult is like such a healing thing for me. I actually really enjoy being an adult. As much as it comes with a lot of different responsibilities, I feel like as a kid I never had the freedom to certain things, like the freedom to choose my values and morals, because obviously your values and your morals are all passed down to you by people, your guardians, your parent guardians, like parents, your guardians, or whatever. I feel like your mind is in such a small space as a child, in a way not as well, because you have creativity and imagination and all these really amazing things, but at the same time you have a certain set of rules and standards that you try to your best to follow when you're younger, because you think that you're going to get punished if you don't. And I think the freedom of being an adult and being somebody who I don't have to live that way anymore, and I can actually choose my own choices, and I can learn to lean on myself and trust myself and make my own money, it's just like a very healing experience to be an adult for me personally. So that's why I say, like, you know, my 20s, I understand I'm only gonna be in it once, but I plan to use my 20s very wisely. I have so many things that I'm so excited to do. I know that there's so many more people to meet, and I've actually been meeting a lot of different people recently, and I think it's just because of my vibrations and my frequency maybe, but it's just been so fun to like get outside. And on that note, actually, let me talk about this. I had posted, I had went out with my friends, with my sister and a couple of my friends, and I had posted a video of us like just doing random things, just partying, dancing, because like we were all having fun. And from time to time I like to enjoy a glass of wine, which I don't think there's any harm in, right? And I had posted the video of us just like, you know, vibing out, having fun, and then I felt like the response to that video was quite strange from everyone that follows me on Instagram. And I don't post on there regularly, so I had posted that video. I found that the response to that was really funny, and I think it's because I don't show very many aspects of my life. So that's the reason I wanted to make a little bit more of a transparent video again, instead of more of a structured one, just because I feel like, yes, I'm this version of myself when I'm doing like my serious sit down talking videos where I'm like, okay, this is the topic, let's talk about it and whatever. But at the same time, I have so many different sides of me, and I think as human beings in general, we're very versatile in the things that we like and the things that we like to do. But yeah, I love to dance. I love music in general. I've always been a music girl, and so, you know, I thought it was funny. The response to that was really funny. But anyways, yeah, I've been having a lot of fun, maybe a little bit too much fun if I'm being honest. I definitely did not stick to my routine for the first, like last week I was not in routine, because I was just spending so much time with family and friends and just like going out and having summer experience. I told myself this summer that I was gonna really enjoy myself and just give myself the most amazing summer. So I've been doing a lot of new things recently, and I've just been having fun. We just hit 15,000 subscribers, which I'm so excited about. And that's pretty much what I've been celebrating, just like life in general. There's a lot more than what I usually do on a day-to-day basis. For summertime, I don't even really wear makeup. I haven't been wearing makeup the last few days. But I usually, if I do wear makeup, it's just a little bit of concealer and like blush and I don't know, like a really BS, you know, makeup look that I don't really care for because I'm just like walking out of the house and whatever. I mean, I still try to put myself together, but for summertime, I just think that no makeup just, it just looks so good. Like when you're wearing an outfit and you're all decked out in jewelry and, you know. My intention this summer is to come back to myself because I felt like all of last year I was just giving in a way, like so much of myself that I really didn't contain within me. And so it just depleted me, and it feels really good this year to come back to myself and realize that I am really lucky and a very blessed girl who has a huge, you know, future ahead of me, and that I have nothing to worry about because I am surrounded by all things love. It just makes me so happy to be in this era of my life when everything is just about leveling up and being myself and helping other people along the way. And obviously valuing my time and my money. I think this is another thing as well. When you get older, you start to value your time so much more because, and at the same time, you understand that time is money, baby. Time is money. And I'm not saying that money is everything, but money is definitely important. So never let anybody tell you that it's not. Again, I'm not saying it's number one, but I'm not saying it's not important because it is. It does a lot for you. And especially when you start making your own coin and just being on your own grind, it just, everything feels so good. You know what's really funny, and I was talking about this with my friend the other day, and I was telling him the same thing, which is that I feel like the higher you go, obviously I said this before, like the higher you go, the less people you have in your life and whatever. But then I was talking to him about why that is, and then I was realizing, and he was also realizing, that it's because your options, but also your taste in people completely changes the more that you like level up and heal yourself, I guess, which is really crazy because it's very, very true. Like I feel like the things that I used to tolerate even, and I would say tolerate is a good word to use, but even the things I used to tolerate are very different than what I would allow myself to accept now. Then even my taste in like friends and just like so many different things, like it's just so crazy to me because you almost don't feel like the same person. Obviously you're the same you, like you're you, but then there's so many things mentally that has changed. But yeah, it's just so, it's kind of like scary. It's scary to see yourself grow sometimes because it's very intimate, like the journey that you're on with yourself. It becomes very like me, and I feel like if I was another person, me and like myself would be like this. Hopefully it doesn't sound crazy, but even if it does, I don't really know how else to explain it because that's literally how I see it in my head. Like I feel like I've really become my own best friend, and I'm so grateful to experience that at such a young age because I feel like I see women searching for something like that their whole lives, where they feel like they need someone all the time or like something all the time, and I've found so much peace and solace in my solitude and in my times when I'm by myself. And then it's also allowed me to understand other people in depths that I didn't even know existed. The thing you have to understand is that people will only meet you as deeply as they met themselves. Like they will only go as far as they've gone into themselves, and they will do the same thing with you. Like they will not know your depths if they don't know those depths within themselves first, you know? And because I've gone to very deep waters within myself, I feel like when I look at other people, I interpret it in a similar way. I see something deeper within them, and then I don't take it personally. I just want to like do a nice little look, have some fun, and then come back home and probably read. Actually, most times when I go out at night, I'm reading before I leave the house. Like I read my books before I leave the house just to ground myself and set an intention and just like, I don't know, feel nice throughout the night and know that I have myself and everybody that I love there. The reason I decided to film a makeup tutorial today is because I was like, I just want a chill video. I just want to chill, okay? I don't want anything that's too crazy. Where's my mascara? That's my biggest thing right now, is just I'm chilling, and I've never been so lenient with myself because I'm always putting so much pressure on myself to be productive. And then I've just been trying a bunch of new stuff lately. I recently got a PT for the first time, and that's been a really interesting experience, having a personal trainer, I think, because it's someone that obviously holds you very accountable, but at the same time you learn so much from a professional, because obviously that's their life's work. So everything I know about the gym and just like working out and nutrition, I've always just learned by myself. So now having somebody to guide me through it has been really incredible and amazing. So trust is a big thing. I trust God with all my heart. I trust the universe with all my heart. I don't think that it would ever put me in a position that was not meant for me, and close doors that were not meant to be closed, or open doors that are not meant to be open. I genuinely believe that, and I think leading with that has just given me so much peace, because I've never been wrong about trusting what God has in mind for me. I'm using a brow freeze right now. 2024 in general this year, let's talk about it because it's been crazy, but it's one of my favorite years. I feel like this is exactly what I needed and exactly what I wanted, and I didn't even know that I wanted it. And I knew I wanted it, but I didn't know that I wanted it. It's hard to explain. Definitely, I knew it in my mind. Like, even I was telling my sister when we were going into 2024, I was like, 2024 is gonna be the best year ever. It's gonna be a year full of love. It's gonna be a year full of money. It's gonna be a year full of, you know, it's like all these really great things. And this is just the way that I see it. The universe or God or whoever it is that you believe in is an all-knowing entity, an all-hearing entity. I'm not sure where I read or heard this from, so this is not my own words. There are things that you don't know. There are things that you haven't heard people say about you behind your back maybe, or whatever it is. But if you believe in something higher than you, you understand that that is something that's the eyes of God. It sees everything that we're incapable of seeing. It's, you know, God sees the habits of those around you. God sees who they really are at their core. If God decided that this person or this thing or the situation was not for you, you need to accept that and embrace that with open arms and let it go. Let it be. I promise you, it's not worth it to try and change situations. It's not worth it to put yourself through that, because if you really value and love yourself, you will give yourself the life you know you deserve, and you will meet people that are willing to meet you there. So not lowering you or not intimidated by a higher version of you, but are actually willing to reach you, meet you there and level up with you, then you will know exactly why everything in your life happened the way that it did. I honestly don't think I'm naturally a calm person. I don't think I'm naturally well-spoken or any of that. I had to teach myself a lot of things. And I think at first I did it out of protection, to try and make myself be some prestigious and impressive woman. But at the end of the day, now I realize that I was always prestigious and impressive, and I think every woman is, and you should just find a way to maximize that through all of the things that you learn and all the experiences you have in your life. I feel like I've been a lot of different girls. Like, I've been a lot of different girls in my life. I've been so many, and by that I mean I've been so many different versions of myself that it's like almost nearly impossible to judge myself for anything now, and to be hard on myself when things go south and I don't have control over a situation, because I realize that I'm constantly in evolution. I'm never the same person that I was even yesterday. I think differently, I move differently, and maybe I want to dress differently for the day. Like, all these little things that seem insignificant that make up a lot. You should always be willing to learn from other people, but people don't need to be there for you to learn a lesson about them. You can learn lessons when people are away from you. You can learn lessons when you're in your solitude. You don't need people around you 24/7. It's not necessary for us to have so much noise. When I was so surrounded by other people, I would let certain opinions like really sink into my head. And now that I'm older, I'm like, no, we're not about to do that. If people are unable to acknowledge that, honestly shouldn't concern you. And if you've gotten to a really secure place with yourself, it's not going to bother you, because it certainly doesn't bother me anymore, and it used to. But you know, we've come a long way since then. So I don't think I go anywhere without my lip liner, if I'm being honest. Even if I'm not wearing makeup, lip liner. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. It just is. That's a fill color, and I just put that on top of the lip balm that I already had on. And then I don't know, maybe somebody's gonna watch this and think that this looks exactly like the makeup tutorial that I did the first time, but I realized how dark the colors were. And then I don't know if you guys have ever heard about color, you probably have heard about color theory, but I recently discovered it, and I was thinking, like, am I a warm girl or am I a cool tone girl? Because I don't know, you know, and I wouldn't know. I just like press my eyebrows down with my fingers just to make sure they stay the whole night, and you know, they're not going anywhere. I'll be going places, but my eyebrows don't need to be going anywhere. Let's dust this away. Here's another thing I will say, actually, which is that People who like the more like toned down version of you don't actually like you. People who like the more nonchalant, very chill version of you don't actually like you. You should be around people who love you when you're speaking in your loudest voice and even the most quietest voice, because there are so many different sides to somebody that when you can learn to love all sides of somebody, that to me is real love. It's unconditional love, and I don't think that it's a very common thing nowadays, unfortunately, but it is possible. So never let anybody tell you that you're being delusional, unrealistic, because there are a lot of really great people out there, and I know that there's this whole notion of like, oh, men are like this or that, but there are a lot of really great men out there, and there are a lot of really amazing women. You just have to set yourself up to be in a position to meet those men and women. Okay, all right, I think I am done. Where are we going? You tell me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my little rambling session. I wanted to do like a chill sit down. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and took something from it, but let me know. Again, everything is linked in the description down below. Any questions you have, you'll probably find the answers there. And apart from that, I will see you guys in the next one.